All right, welcome back to Mr. PL's with Geometry. This is Unit 1, Topic 1, Lesson number 7. So this time we're going to be copying segments and angles, but we're going to be doing a little bit of segment addition and angle addition, if we could call it that. So we're going to be combining angles and segments to other angles and segments. Obviously not angles to segments, but segments to segments and angles to angles. Name a line that contains point T and P. That would be line G. Line G has both points T and P on it. Name a line that intersects the plane containing points Q, N, and P. Q, N, and P. Here. Q, N, and P. Name a line that intersects the plane containing points Q, N, and P. Oh, I'm sorry. The plane containing those points. Okay, that makes a little more sense. That would be line J. J is going through the plane that contains those points, or you could just call it plane S, since that's the name of the plane. The plane that contains T, N, and Q, R, I believe I just answered myself there. That would be plane S, or you could call it plane Q, N, and P. Q, N, P. Okay, so I'm not going to do all of these. I really just want to get to what's new. You can watch the last video, but here is a couple more examples of copy segment and copy an angle. So I just want to do one of each just so before I do the next page. It says construct a copy of EF. Okay, let me move myself here. So first thing I'm going to need to do is provide myself a line segment. I'm going to put a point and call this endpoint E prime. All right, I'm going to pull out my compass, use my fixed point on E. I'm going to make this smaller, and then I'm going to try to close it until my pencil is on point F and make an arc. I put my pencil over here on E prime and make the exact same arc. Now what I've essentially done is I've really just measured the distance from E to F, and I know that E to F prime is exactly the same distance. Because I did not make the compass any smaller or larger, I used it as a measuring device. Create a copy of an angle. So construct angle JKL. So let's do that. I'm going to give myself a ray to begin with. So giving myself an endpoint and one arrow in one direction. So JKL, where's that one? That one's this one. So I'm going to put my fixed point on J. I'm going to make an arc. It really doesn't matter how big it is. I know a lot of you will probably think that you have to go through J and L. No, you don't. Those are just happen to be there. You just make an arc so that it intersects that angle twice. And I come down here and I make the exact same size arc. Now, always try to give yourself a bigger arc than you probably need, just so you have to go back and redo it. So then I'm going to measure from intersection to intersection. Move myself here. So I'm going to open this up a little bit more until I can intersect that point. Okay, so from here to there is that distance. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to find the point on that arc that's exactly the same distance as the other one. And there it is. So that fixed point right here is the one that you want to go to when connecting here, and you've got yourself the exact same angle. Now, it's very easy to make a mistake on this. It's very important to be precise. There's a lot of things that are going into this because precision is important in geometry. If you are not precise with your arcs and making sure you're going through exactly through the points of intersection, then it's not going to come out and it's not going to look the same because it's not going to be the same. All right, now I'm going to skip. Now, I know there's a lot of practice here. We're practicing copying segments and angles, but like I said, just watch the last video if you need more help. I know I just did one example of each because I really want to get to this page 31 and 32 in your packet. And the reason why is because this is new and this is segment addition. So we want to form a line segment that is A plus B. We have two segments. We have segment A and segment B. So I'm going to do the exact same first step and give myself a long ray, and I am going to give myself one endpoint, and I'm going to do A plus B. I'm going to measure A first. So I'm going to put my fixed point one end on A, pencil on the other end, and make an arc. Come down here, and basically this is just copy an angle. So I make the exact same arc, and what I now know is that this segment is the same as segment A. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing for segment B. I'm going to open up my pencil a little bit more, make another arc, and there's the size of segment B, and I'm going to add that to the segment A. So I'm going to use the other side of segment A, and I really just essentially made segment B on the right side of segment A. Now, essentially, everything from here to here is A plus B. So that entire segment, which I'll highlight if you don't know what I'm talking about, that would be this entire segment, is the size of A plus B. Now, what if I was doing B minus A? Well, once again, and you do this all the same, you'll pick up addition and subtraction is kind of the same. Instead of adding to the length of A, I'm going to subtract A from the length of B. So this time I got to do B first. Well, the nice thing is I already have it set up for B, so I'm going to come down here and make an arc, and essentially that is B, and then I got to remeasure A. Close this up a little bit. Okay, it's that size, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the end of B, and I'm going to work backwards. I'm going to deduct or take away, this is length A. So my answer is, okay, that. All right, so this is my answer. This is B minus A. Right here. This is the only part we're looking at. Just that segment, that little tiny segment, because I went B, but then I took away the length of A. And A is smaller than B, which means we didn't make, it's not negative. You can't have a negative length. That's not possible. All right, the next question says line segment with 3A and 2B. Now that's a lot of segments, so I'm going to make this quite long. I already have it set up. I got to be careful there. I guess I need to recheck it now. Yeah, we're good. So we're going to start with this endpoint right here, and I'm just going to keep repeating doing the same thing over and over again. There's 1. There's 2, and there is 3 lengths of A. So that's A plus another A plus another A. Now I'm going to go over here, and I've got to measure B again, and we've got to do 2 of those. Yep, there we go. All right, so from that point, let me mark this back and forth. There we go. There's a B, and there's one more B. And it looks like we have our answer. So let me just label everything. So this is B and this is B. And then our answer is everything from here to here. That entire length is 3A plus 2B. So there's the length of 3A's and 2B's all side by side of each other. All right, now the last page I want to do here is kind of the same thing we just did, only it's doing it with angles. So it says an angle whose measure is C plus D degrees. So take whatever C is and whatever D is, add them together, and we're going to make one angle that's the size of both of them combined. All right, so same steps as before. I'm going to, when copying an angle, you start off with just simply a ray. Now I'm going to make an arc that intersects, and I'm actually going to do it for both. Okay, so what I'm going to have to do here is I'm going to make it smaller because this one doesn't reach as much. So let me redo it because I want them to be the same. I want to make this nice and easy for myself. I am going to make the same size arc so you don't get confused. Let's eliminate that. I'm going to make this arc here and here on C and D the exact same size arc, and then on the new one I'm going to make the exact same size arc as well, making it plenty big, big enough. In fact, I better go even further. In fact, you know what? I might even just make a full circle, to be honest, just to be safe. All right, so I want to do C plus D. So start off with the distance of C. So from intersection to intersection. There we go, and that is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to go up for my start and make this arc right there. So keep in mind that this is a small angle, and that is the exact same size. Now I would connect it to there if I was copying angle C, but I'm not, because I need to add angle D to it. So first thing I need to do is open this up, measure from fixed point to fixed point. And I'm going to continue from here And voila. So essentially this was angle C and this is angle D. And if I connect that point right here to that point of intersection, and there we go. We've got ourselves, that entire angle is C plus D degrees. So add C to whatever D is, and that's the total amount of degrees. That's the reason why it needs to be in parentheses with the degrees on the outside. You could do C degrees plus D degrees. That'd be the exact same thing. An angle whose measure is D minus C degrees. Okay, very similar to what we just did. Last one here, of course. So start off with a simple ray. All right, so then what I need to do is go back and measure the same first arc. So let's do the same first arc, make things nice and easy on myself. All right, I know last time I did a circle, but this time it's subtraction, so it shouldn't be as big of an angle as this one. I know it's going to be smaller than that. And it's D minus C, so I need to measure D first. Okay. I'm going to make a copy of angle D first, which is right here. And then I'm going to subtract, meaning go into the right, the size of angle C. So let's measure this again. Make sure, nope, that needs to be a little bit smaller. There we go. All right, so put that here and make the exact same size arc. Okay, that's the size of angle C, and we deduct that. So what we're left with is this angle. So notice that this one's a lot smaller than this one because instead of adding C, we subtracted C from D. And there we go. And we have our D minus C degree angle. And there you go. So that's how you do segment addition and angle addition for constructions. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day.